about. Trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist. Am I worth anything or just a scout? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That was Great Sounds Watts with Outside on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, Mr. EZ Blues. Easy Blues, you're always better with guest introductions, better than me. Who do we have with us on the program today? Go right ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know we love to talk about music here on the show, and for that and that alone, I want you to truly understand music is in the mind, and it is the eye of the perception and the way things go and dance. Understand that music itself can transcend depending on the genre. There is no style and no anything that is necessary. Music can lift the soul and bring it to a point of ultimate enjoyment. In the times where it gets so dark, music can be the light, and for that and that alone, I want you to put your hands together. Not if you're driving. If you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2 because we don't need any accidents. But I want you to mentally put your hands together for the fantastic, the amazing, the phantasmagorical. Nadia is in the building today. Blessings, blessings, blessings.
What's up, guys? How are we doing today?
Going on?
Doing well. How are you? Welcome, bienvenue. For those who don't know, who are you and what brought you to the show?
So I'm Nadia, but I go as NadaButVibes. And really what brought me on the show was because I got introduced to you guys from what I heard from Heartbeat Festival. And I was like, yeah, like, why not connect with you guys and see what it's all about, see what the vibes are. And honestly, it's just an opportunity to just bring everyone together at that.
That's one of the key points, and we've had a couple of Heartbeat people on. It's going to be an incredible festival this year, June 14th, for all those who aren't going to be there already. But at the end of the day, what started you on your process and your creative journey of being a musician?
Wow. So what really started me off, I think it's always just having a vivid imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So I already, when growing up, I listened to certain songs and they captivated me in such a way that I start, I'm not sure if you guys have done this, like you just look out the window and you're like, I'm in that music video. I always do that myself. And, I was like, sure, like, why not? Let me see if I could start with just, composing, producing music at that. So I really just started off that way until I gained the confidence to start singing vocally. And then just, everything kind of just, the ball started rolling that way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I have to know because I'm a huge tattoo fan. What do you have tattooed on your hand?
So on my hand, I got like a wolf. It's a little bit.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, it caught my eye like 4 times while you were talking. I was like, I need to know what it is. I need to find out what's going on. That's awesome. Sure. Now, what in your creative process, what got you to the point where you're like, this is where I am. This is who I want to be. What was the birth and what is the origin story of NadaButVibes?
Man, I think at the end of the day, it started like around COVID, like right before COVID, actually. Mm-hmm. Funny thing how it works out, right? And I really just wanted to, like I said, I started off making music, but then I realized I'm like, I have ideas with like these instrumentals, so why not? And I figured, starting off as a producer, I wanted to just be like, no, I think I could do something more. And obviously, like with any singer or just artist, you want to kind of like tie everything together. And I feel like that also goes with like the name I came up with, NadaButVibes. If you guys know Spanish or if you don't, nothing in Spanish means nada. So essentially, I'm saying nothing but vibes. And I guess it was a way for me to strip away this identity I had previously, like who I was, who Nadia was. Mm-hmm. And then just simply be the vibes that I can be and being able to just tap into whatever is at the moment or whatever moment I could capture for not only for myself or from myself, but for other people as well. But it, with NadaButVibes, she definitely came through with any artist, with anyone aspiring to do anything that they love. I went through some tribulations with betrayals, with heartbreaks, stuff like that, personal losses, and I just wanted to be able to overcome that in some type of way, and kind of leave my impact with that as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, where exactly are you located? Where do you consider home base for you? Is it Hartford?
It's actually Manchester, so a few towns
Manchester.
right over. Yep,
Few
yep, yep.
towns, a few towns over. I wanted to make sure before I started calling you a Hartford local and everyone started getting mad at me because
Right, right, right. We don't
they're like,
want
no,
that, right?
she's from Manchester.
Right.
That's not, I don't want anyone to be mad at me. I like, but
Absolutely.
what was it like getting out there and starting to play shows and stuff like that while being, in Manchester, it was just a smaller town
Absolutely.
comparative to like Hartford or like a New Haven or something like that.
Right, right. So at least it was at first it was definitely nerve-wracking. I feel like a lot of people said like they didn't really see the nervousness with me. They saw a lot of confidence stand out, and I feel like that's what I always want to do. So whenever I go on stage, a lot of times I'm just trying to welcome everybody, kind of make it an immersive space. But at first I was so nervous I could barely keep a steady note. Like I was I was like "Ooh," like very shaky, very just not 100% confident, at least vocally.
Right.
But then as I started performing a little bit more from like some good friends of mine, album release parties or just more locally around, I realized I'm like, oh, this is possible, or like I don't have to treat it as something. I mean, it is special in its own way, but I don't have to treat it as like, oh, I had to be a certain way. Like, no, this is me coming in. Like, this is me sharing my time, my space, my energy with the people as they are, vice versa with with me as well. So,
So what's your favorite aspect, performing or producing?
oh, that's a good question.
Thank you. Thank you. I try.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you are. I believe. I think. I think there's a beauty in the production because as much as I love performing, I feel like at the end of the day, like those ideas when I'm alone at night or I'm with those group of friends, I'm like, hey, like, what do you think of this? Or like we just start building towards something. It's like, wow, like we're able to capture something in that moment. So like regardless, performances, I'm not sure if everyone's always able to capture it, right? Those live performances, when they do, it's I'm chef's kiss, like it's that moment you only one time, but like compared to I think like production or like when it comes to like studio music, it's like you get to hear what was captured in that exact moment,
Mhm.
and nothing can ever like essentially replace it unless you're doing
Right.
a live version of it.
Right. And even that live version, who knows what kind of chaos could happen, so
Definitely.
something could get even stranger and stuff like that. So it's nice to
Yeah.
have, that that captured moment that's forever going to be the same every aspect. And I'm a musician that loves to play things differently.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a lot more fun that way. You get to like the audience then it was like, oh, we were so used to this, and then you went this way, and you're like, yeah, of course we
Yep.
did. It's
Like,
it's
yeah,
more
keep
fun.
on.
It's more
Oh,
fun that way.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So, obviously you started writing in the producer aspect of it and writing the different beats and the different musical arrangements and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um, what what family member said you should totally start singing?
I mean, I love my family.
Mhm.
I think they were just trying to see what I was actually gonna do. So I didn't really have like my family to be like, oh, like, no, you could definitely sing or you could do it, do it. It was it was very, very few friends. And
Mhm.
some that have performed at Heartbeat Festival. So like Brian Alfred and like A Marquise, for
Mhm.
example. But A Marquise really helped me push me, like I said, really pushed me out of my comfort zone. He was like, no, you have a good tone. Like, I don't know why you don't sing. And I'm like, because I guess I was just trying to write or maybe rap. I like to call it like
Mhm.
just rhyming because I didn't want to consider myself as a rapper.
Mhm.
But he was like, no, like just like we'll work with it. Like you just need to grow more confident, like singing. So I was like, okay. So when we first started collaborating on music, he was like, no, like you got it. And I'm like, okay, like if this talented singer believes in me this much, I'm like, I need to start pouring that back into myself. I'm like, I need to believe that I could actually sing and hold a note or two, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So essentially, my parents, my sisters were able to support me. but probably just not at that same level musically. They were just able to be like, yeah, go for your dreams, yeah, do it, compared to vocals. Like I said, A Marquise really was like, no, you have a rich tone, this, that, and the third, and give me tips I could grow from, essentially.
Hey, chosen family is still family. So I look at it as that's the highest form of awesomeness, and I think that's incredible. It also speaks volumes to like what the Heartbeat Festival is trying to do, really establish a scene, really establish a good communication between the different acts and stuff like that. This
Yeah.
something in which you've been growing through. Who are some of your favorite acts to play with?
Oh man, I would have to say definitely A Marquise. Just because he's just been amazing to work with. I know I worked with Late Night as well, so like we collaboration as well. No comprende, that was awesome. And I think I started doing a bit more collabs just recently. I just haven't performed them live yet.
Okay.
I know when the time comes, it's amazing. I love being able to see different acts come about, and then really just seeing people in their own element. I think that's just the beauty of it. Like you said, like we're making the scene out here. We put respect to one another's names, and essentially how we perform, how we make this happen. Like this is our love, this is our passion, and I couldn't see it like a better way to put it all together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, can you take us through what the songwriting process is for you? Do you sit there with a phrase, with a word, or is it a melody first, and then the words kind of just reveal themselves?
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like it's more melody first, and I start writing to it. Sometimes, like you said, like there's revelations of the words. So sometimes it's I guess the word would be like the phonics. So I get like certain vowels or like pronunciations to it. I'm like, oh, this would be a good way to say maybe need. Like I probably put need in this spot right here, or
Right.
for example, you. I'm like, maybe I could put you and then two here, maybe give it like a double rhyme in a line, essentially. So yeah. That I feel like that's just usually my flow. And I try not to force it either, because but when it comes to like when I'm writing for other people, or like writing with other people, I try my best to like adapt to. I'm like, okay, how do you perceiving it? How would you like to say it? So I could get that sense of like, okay, I'm not speaking as me, I'm speaking as them, for example.
That's actually something that I really would love to dive in further, what it is like to write for other people, because there's a lot of success stories that are out there. A lot of some of the biggest pop stars that we have right now started out as writers and co-writers and different things like that, like Lady Gaga, Sia, and all these Dream. All these phenomenal artists, started out doing the songwriting aspect of it. What is it like to sit into the frame of mind of another person to try to speak their perspective, or to at least make your perspective sound like it's coming from their voice?
Two-parter question.
Two-part.
Backing off what my friend and good to go brother Easy just said. I'm reading that you also do beat production too.
Yeah.
Tell me what that's like for other artists, but Easy goes first. I'm gonna be polite.
Right. Appreciate that. So at least when it comes to songwriting, I sometimes I like to just build rapport at first. We get a real feel of like how they are, even if it's just one facet of them. And then I definitely like to dive into like some of the catalog that they have. And then eventually it's just kind of like sitting in, listening to their melodic style too. And then eventually I'm like, okay, like how would they write it? And then I kind of go back and forth. So I'll write a little something. I'm like, what do you think of this so far? And then if they kind of like affirm it, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of going in the right direction. If not, I'm like, okay. And that's where sometimes my challenges come in, is like, I'm like, oh dang it, like now I'm writing as me. I'm like, I'm not writing as them. So I'm like, okay, let me like kind of like draw the blank again, and then restart. So then eventually it kind of just ends up flowing as it should. And then eventually when it's, I guess you could say, composing the melodic side, it's dope, because it just, I leave them sometimes like a little foundation, and then they just add their, their beautiful runs or riffs and stuff like that. So it's a beautiful thing to see when I'm able to at least help them in their writing process and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And now the beats question that my homie
Yeah.
put on the table.
Right. So at least when it comes to production, I've always done kind of like my sound is more kind of like ethereal, melodic, but rhythmic at the same time.
Okay.
So now I'm learning how to tap into different styles. So again, it's also kind of the same almost routine as if like, okay, I want to build rapport with them. I actually want to get to know them a little bit.
Gotcha.
And then I'm like, okay, like, what do you think of this? Because I'm like, I feel like you kind of, I actually, at this point, I'll ask them more like, what are some of your influences? And then like, what are your favorite artists, your artists? So then I kind of get a feel like maybe I could tie what they love and then what they actually sound like. And then kind of like blend the two. And then, yeah, kind of like magic kind of starts happening. Like I started doing this kind of like, I guess, alternative hip hop R&B beat for someone like, oh no, this is dope. I'm like, they liked it too because they were like, there was an essence of you, but like they said, like the drums and the bass line and everything, they're like, yeah, this is something I was like, I wanted to like ride on. Right. Flow wise and everything. So I think, I don't know, it's a pretty cool process, honestly, especially when production, I feel like especially when it comes to production, I'm like, okay, this is literally, you know, the foundation that like everything else, you know, you could change how the story is lyrically, but like how can I capture that sound, that feeling, and experience essentially, you know.
How hard was that to actually get it? You know, just like knowing that artist, feeling of what they sound, because every creator has a different vision, which is beautiful, by the way.
Yes, 100%. And that's one thing I always try to respect, because I tell people up front, I'm like, look, you know, if it's not something, you know, you're digging with, or you want to use some elements that I, you know, feel free to, like, I'm willing to just be open to that. So like, say if I give them a good, like melody, melody and counter melody in the production, and I'm like, you don't like anything else, here, just take it, just make it work, type of thing. But I feel like it's, I guess it's not so much of a, yeah, like I think the main thing was like just respecting their vision too, because I'm like, I don't want to, like, yes, you're asking, you're coming to me for it, but it's like, I don't want to, like you said, I want to respect your vision. I want to see how I can see through it at the end. So at least a simplified version of that. Yeah.
Top must have at the studio. What has to be there when you record?
When I have to record, water. I mean,
beautiful. That's an honest answer. That's an honest answer. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, well, now I kind of like re-upped on some like honey. I got this like cinnamon honey the other day. It's really good.
That's good stuff.
Oh yeah. And I try to do that. Funny thing, I'm like, I usually sometimes bring a notepad. Sometimes I just bring my phone, because I'll have like different melodies that I have. Like if I'm like, hey, I think this works with this song, or I could use a little snippet of the part of the melody I was using for just, you know, that was just the top of my head. And I'm like, okay, let me see how I could write it with this, or tie it together. So I think I'm very simple. I'm like, I need like hydration, and then I just need my phone.
Hydration and
I'm all about that.
Such is life.
Hell yeah. I'm all about that. What's the time that an artist made you a better entertainer?
Ooh, that's a great one. Now, are we speaking like locally or just like
in general? It could be locally, it can be a well-known. Just give me a great memory.
I think so. I'm not sure if you guys know Marcus Rodriguez. He's really well known around here, and I think the way he entertains people is like phenomenal. He's really makes it an immersive experience for those people. Whether he's throwing his own events, or, you know, he's performing with people, he invite his group of dancers, he'll dance, sing, have a good balance with that. And then when he's doing his own events, essentially he makes sure it's, like I said, immersive. So he incorporate like visuals, and sometimes it's not like a full song playthrough. He almost do like a almost like a medley, but like a set,
Right.
of how he would put all of his music together to tell a story, essentially.
That's awesome.
I think he's like a great person to like bring that all together too, for sure. And again, I would have to go back to A. Marquise and Brian Alfred. Oh, and not to mention, I will say this: Alyssa Velasquez, she's phenomenal. Like, I think her and A. Marquise, the way they vocally carry themselves, like I feel like they don't have to move too much. Their confidence with their voice, and I feel like the emotions in their voice really just like you're just captivated in itself. So I'm like, how could I do that for other people too? You know, the times when I'm not jumping around, moving around, trying to hype everyone else up, right? For some of my other more upbeat music, I'm like, how can I bring that like more to like a centered focus, and where it feels truly grounded. So I could say those two specifically, like the way they vocally carry themselves and just capture and captivate everyone in the audience. It's like that's something that's always like moved me.
And what moves me is WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made. There's nothing but vibes here at the program. But I want to know what's the best thing you learned about the audience control. I mean, everybody gets there for the first time. Everybody has stage fright. Everybody has different emotions when they perform in front of an audience and a crowd. What's the best thing fan interaction has made you better?
I think it's just kind of realizing that I guess I look at it as such a like deeper level now. That is like, what are the odds, like the probability, right, that we're all here in this very moment? And I'm like, there had to be some type of alignment, like synchronicity to it. So I like to think of it as like, okay, we're all here in this moment. There's something we all kind of can tap into one another. So I try to like, one is eye contact, one is try to like actually genuinely interact with people, and not assume that they're fans either. I think that was like the biggest thing. Like, people, at least me, I like to think of the people that support me are not just fans. They're just like people that actually enjoy good music and just support, you know, anyone that is just truly authentic. And I'm like, how could I, you know, show up that way? I was like, me, not just, well, me as NadaButVibes, but as Nadia too, like all together, instead of it just being like, okay, I'm just one ego here and then I'm a different person in every other place. Like when it comes to work, when it comes to family, like, no, this is Nadia, NadaButVibes all around. Like, this is how she is. This is how she carries herself. And I think the best ways to interact is just looking, like I said, looking at them, seeing how you can just hype them up, get them out, like, instead of like, you know, feeling like they have to suppress and, I just want them to be able to release any type of shame. So the same way I try to do that for myself, I encourage that for them. And you just see people slowly start smiling or like moving around when it comes to that type of crowd control too.
How much were you smiling during the Urban Latin Music Awards?
A lot.
A lot. You got recognized, right?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I came there just to support, with other individuals that were in the scene too. And they called my name. I was like, oh, this is crazy. And, I was definitely cheesing, but it was out of gratitude because again, like I really do count my blessings. I think, before, I don't want to say like, I feel like before doing all of this and everything, even up until now, I can say, like, I feel like I didn't really deserve a lot of the things because, imposter syndrome can be a real thing. So I was like, I'm just like anybody. I'm like, I don't know why I deserved it, but it's like, no, like I do deserve it, but not in a sense of like, yeah, like I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like, it's humbling. It's a blessing. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I get to be here with everybody. I get to share that. People can resonate with that. What a beautiful kind of like power to have. But to like channel it in such a beautiful way instead of it just being like, yeah, and just be so full of myself and disconnected.
Can you relate, Easy?
Oh yeah, no, it's so super like especially when we did the NEMA for the Punk Act, we went on the year that we didn't expect us to win anything or anything like that. So it all becomes this like, and time speeds up and slows down at the same time. The name starts to get dragged out as they start saying it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh really, we got to do this, and then you have like 32 seconds to get up on stage, say everything you need to say, then rush off stage, and then people are like, what did you think of that moment? And you're like, I have no idea, I didn't think in that moment at all.
Yeah. That's the real thing too, and it makes you think if you're like, that's you just being truly in the present too. Yeah.
No, exactly. No, it's really it's a dope feeling. Also a really dope feeling. There's gonna be a lot of people that are discovering you for the first time.
Yeah.
At the Heartbeat Festival, there's gonna be tons of folks that are gonna be down there. What do they have the most to look forward to on June 14th when seeing your set?
I believe just getting a whole different feel of like Latin music too, because this is one thing I feel like this year I'm gonna come more prepared with a lot more Latin music, singing in Spanish, and for that being able to transcend through language and just like into feeling basically. A lot of it will kind of like I was mentioning before. I definitely would love to hype up the crowd, just like getting them moving, dancing. And I feel like a lot of that comes just from my like upbringing, and especially for example, yesterday we had my mom's birthday event, and just everyone, like it's just it's almost like a family party. You just like like release your inhibitions. You're dancing, you're celebrating one another, you're celebrating life, and that's exactly what I want to bring into the stage, into the for everyone to able to for everyone to be able to disconnect for a moment from their like who they think they are and just like live in the moment, like kind of we're talking about just being in the present. That's one thing I just really want to be able to capture for people as well. Yeah.
No, it's so super interesting because it's so important, especially when performing live. To make sure you're having the audience stay in the moment and be in the moment. And it's so difficult right now because we know we're doing a good job as performers, not if the crowd's going crazy, but if everyone has their phone pointed up and pointed at you.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different way to get that vibe through. How do you manage to do that in this time where a lot of people seem to be more preoccupied in the phone than what's happening in front of them?
I think that's an excellent question. I feel like there's a lot of people that do record, and I still appreciate them with that. So I actually look at them sometimes, and then I'll start moving, kind of like encourage them to dance, and then you see them like, okay, I'll start putting my phone away for a second, or like I'll still dance but while having my phone out. So it's like some way I kind of meet them in the middle, or at some point they're just like, oh right, I'm here, like let me just have fun then. And I'm like, yeah, like cool, like I appreciate you recording me. That's amazing, especially what we have now. But it's like, for that moment, let's disconnect real quick. You don't have to feel like you have to just expose me for that. I'd rather be exposed in a way of an actual true feeling, a true impact in that, like from within.
Oh, that's awesome. That's such a great answer. I have to appreciate. High five on that answer. So there you and she actually high fived me. There you go. That's amazing.
The first actual high five on the show. That's awesome.
Usually I say high five and they just do this. They put their hand up.
That's pretty much it.
We go all in.
That's what needs to happen, and I love that about you. What is the next level for you though? Like, we've got this year's really only just started to kick off. We're really starting to get into, like the vibe seasons, and we're really starting to get into, yes, I said it on purpose. I did. We
see what you did there. We saw what you did.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. But, we're starting to get into, where playing out more, doing more things, releasing more type of music, what does the future hold for NadaButVibes?
I feel like for NadaButVibes, I believe just getting around all in like international, like even if it's not, the US completely, I'm okay with that. I think just being able to tap into an international crowd would be just such a beautiful thing.
Awesome.
And funny thing is, like, to be transparent, out of my family that came from Peru, I was the only one from my siblings and amongst my parents that were born here, that was born here.
Wow.
So it'd be such a beautiful thing to just be able to like tap into like those different cultures, even back in my own, and then just connecting with people like that. I think that would be like I think that would be the biggest thing, and I think we are making things happen. At least to give you a little plant the seed moment.
Hey, it's very important, because if you don't plant the seed, no one else is going to. So that's
true.
super, super important.
That's so true.
You know, and we love that, and we love that for you.
Yeah.
I asked this of all the musicians, and I always ask it thinking it's going to be the hardest question out there, but most musicians just rifle it off the top of their head. If someone asked me this, I'd probably cry. I want to know what your favorite child is. What's your favorite song?
Ooh. Wow. That's
okay. Hold on. Let me rephrase it. Okay.
Okay.
I'll ask you the way that Johnny Cash was asked in Sun Records.
Okay.
You're just got hit by a car. You're in a gutter. Your last breath. You have one of your songs to listen to. What song is it?
I think. Oh, that's damn. Damn, because I think I would have to say One Single Color.
Okay.
Just nice. Because the intention with the production, like, and at some point I'm going to drop the instrumental version to it. It was supposed to give you a feeling like you're just transcending through time and space. Nice. And kind of like a love wins all, like love, kind of like that movie Interstellar, where like love, the gravity point through everything. Yeah, I think I would listen to that and I'd be okay with that. Just lift off, you know, accept it.
Just accept it. That's that's a great answer too. See, you're knocking it out of the park. You're doing fantastic. You're doing fantastic. No worries. Everyone gets so worried when they're about to be on the show. Everyone's like, and then like halfway through, they're like, this is the coolest experience ever.
Yeah, no, this has already been like, I'm enjoying this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So in the production wise and also like in the performance wise, obviously you want to go for a more international aspect, and that's incredible. But what do you want to see go further faster? Do you want to see it be in the production aspect so you can kind of more hang out in the background, or do you want to take your brand more in the face of that international stardom that you're chasing?
I believe my brand.
Nice.
To be honest, like I feel like once I feel like I'm in a good place, which is much further down the line with my brand and everything, I think at that point I would be able to, you know, branch out. Well, I feel like I would already be branching out. I think I would be more okay. Like we're putting this on the back burner, the brand, and now establishing more of the production and really like taking off with that. But I want to be able to build my brand because I think it's just a powerful thing if I could inspire those around me, because I know I needed that person too. Almost, I don't know, and it's funny, I think, I forgot who said it. It was not a role model, but a real model. But I always wanted to just be able to, like I said, inspire those in a way that I wish I had someone there for me. Kind of having an idea what they want, or even if they didn't, they made it just look convincing enough, and that's honestly all you need, that belief. So in the sense of like where the motto comes in my eyes, where dreams are actualized, it's like it doesn't matter if it's like a dream or it's just a vision or just something in your mind. It could be manifested. It could come into the physical. You just have to kind of trust in it, but also put in some type of effort behind it too. So definitely.
No, that's incredible. We say it all the time. You know, they always say that when God closes a door, He opens a window. But what they don't tell you is you're supposed to go through the window.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Climb out and everything. That's facts. That's facts.
Oh man. Latin music has come so far. In your opinion, what are you proud of and what do you want to see change?
I'm I'm proud of my vocals
Hmm.
because like I mentioned this in the beginning, like I really was not confident with my voice, and I feel like I'm very proud of what I'm able to do with my vocals now, and
Mhm.
some of the things that will be the music that will be dropping this year. I'm like a lot of it was getting me out of my comfort zone, even stylistically. So trying to do like more my head voice, falsetto, or maybe subtle runs, very subtle, because I'm still going into that. But yeah, I would say that, and I think change. I think at some point change. Like I know I'd be very well known for like the Latin side, but I want to be able to tap into different styles of music.
Mhm.
I was actually just talking to someone like kind of doing more like at some point maybe like some type of indie rock or more house or EDM type of music as well.
Mhm.
Want to be able to change and evolve in a sense of like not sticking to one single genre. And I
Right.
where again the name comes from NadaButVibes, like just it's nothing but vibes. You don't know what to expect. You just don't know. I don't know.
No, that's key. But I think my brother here was saying on more of the the genre itself. As you've
As a
seen
whole.
Latin music
Huh?
grow as a whole,
Yes.
what are you so super proud of that Latin music as a whole has accomplished, and what would you change Latin music as a whole when you have that opportunity to be in that limelight?
But that was a great answer. I wasn't going to interrupt.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah.
got
No,
you.
but
I
That
got you.
answer was
I
amazing.
appreciate that.
So
No,
I
I
was gonna
appreciate
I was
you
gonna
clarifying.
clarify that, but the answer was good. So you were on a roll. Don't feel bad about
No,
yourself.
that's
Don't feel
perfect.
doing. Just keep it going. We
No,
don't want to stop this good
awesome.
vibe here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think what's so amazing, I could see it very like Latin music very modernized in a way, and that I would have never expected it because you hear a lot of the live instrumentations, especially the music I grew up with, like cumbia, salsa, what's it called, bachata, all that. Like they most of like they all use like live instrumentations and such, and then you hear such right now like a beautiful blend of the like more of a modernization of it. But then now, and especially with, for example, Bad Bunny's recent album, he was able to mix both. And honestly, that is so crazy that he wanted to start doing that because, or he has been, um, because that's something I wouldn't mind doing, like adding more real life instrumentation instead of just relying on like the standard kits that we have here or that I have on my computer. Like I want to be able to, I'm like, all right, let's buy some like congas, bongos, shakers. Like I want to
Mhm.
incorporate that real feel. So like people are like, oh, like it's not like digitized.
Mhm.
But I think that would be like one thing. I think the change is tying with that, but I think the change would be like how experimental can we get? Because
Right.
I've been hearing like a synth pop reggaeton or like Latin house, Latin EDM.
Mhm.
There's so, and then there's like dark R was it dark Latin R&B? Like it's just crazy. Like people like I'm now finding out more like subgenres and then like
Mhm.
all of those. So I feel like it's just getting more experimental. But I know like with time and how everything cycles through, at some point we're gonna go back to like the classics. So
Mhm.
real life instrumentation. But I feel like we should just keep expanding on the experimentation.
I like that. I like that a lot. Easy, you like that too?
No, it was a very good answer. I appreciate that answer. Well done, well done. And
Appreciate
I too really appreciate where it seems the lines of genres are getting more blurred and blurred and blurred. And I actually just listened to the book about the music industry and from 7 different genres, the history of music,
Yeah.
which was really really interesting. But really, we started to learn that now because everyone has the ability to listen on a much wider scale. You know, our phones connect us through whatever streaming service you use, whether
Yeah.
you are
WNHHLP 103.5 FM, that streaming service.
that streaming
Quite easy.
service.
That one.
Whether you're that streaming service or you're an Apple Music or you're one of the people that follow through with the Spotify aspect of things,
Yeah.
you know, I now have the ability to listen to something from Latvia if I wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, never before would I have that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, and to I don't know if you guys have remember the movie Bulworth.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, there's a scene in there where he says it in a way I can't say it on the radio, but I'm going to say it the way it can be said on the radio. We're just going to keep meshing each other up together until we're just one big color of gray. And I think that's where music is leading now too, where you start to see, you know, some hip hop. You know, I tell people all the time, like I'm as influenced by Chuck D as I am by Bob Dylan. You know, and I look at both of them as being, you know, forefathers of my pen. So
Yeah.
you know, that's how I have to, you know, look at things and grow with things. And the more we can really get in there and shake it up, the more challenging it can be.
Yeah.
So I definitely dig that. I look forward to a band you might want to take a look at for just an incredible sound. They're really, really dark.
Yeah.
Zeta, Zeta.
But
They are really, really, they're from Argentina.
Okay, I may know them. I can't say I do, but that sounds familiar, especially that you mentioned the Argentina. So
Yeah.
ooh.
Yeah, and then they're the background. They were the recording background band for the Co-Defendants, which is Chesky Ramos's new project with Sam King from Get Dead. So yeah, it's a lot of interesting things going on. And that's why I say it really seems like there's going to be a spotlight because you know people who know Chesky, and you know knows that he always represents for Connecticut, for New Haven in particular, but always for Connecticut. So he always kind of films that spotlight, and now that light is coming over here towards Connecticut, finally, you know. What are you going to do to help grab just a piece of that spotlight? And are you ready?
I feel like I want to say yes because I'm like if it's coming over here, it's for a reason, you know. And I feel like what we could add to it is just honestly just anything, you know. Everyone, I think this is the beauty of why each of us are so unique, is that we could just, you know, I have my backstory, you have your backstory. I'm like, maybe there's something that aligns, and it's like, if not, there's a whole different perspective on that. So, you know, whether it's sound production or like, sound production, or just like, okay, now we're songwriting and such, or hey, like if you need background vocals, sure, why not? Like if you want something ethereal sounding, we could do that. Absolutely. Right. I think just being able to be open to collab, whether it's just again a little garnishing on that project, why not? Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I know that our producer is going to be pulling the Apollo curtain on us very shortly, but we
have some time.
We have some time. Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Minutes. We got like 6 minutes. We got some time.
I want to make sure.
We can make this work.
I want to give her as much time as possible to promote herself.
Let's do it. 2025. Besides Heartbeat, 2025. What will happen for NadaButVibes? Tell us right now.
So I know I'll be performing also at the Hartford Taste. I believe it would be a week before. I'll get the set very shortly. I also will be having a small set with a couple other dancers, musicians, and other artists for the Jazz Festival, fortunately. So that'll be coming in, I believe, sometime in mid-July. I do have some big events coming towards the end of the year. One, I believe, is still going to be showcased in New York. The other one is going to be somewhere in Puerto Rico. So this is, honestly, such a blessing. But I do have my EP release event coming up very shortly on April 5th. And of course, with that EP release is, of course, the EP that I will be dropping that day as well. 6-song project. And yeah, it's honestly a blessing. I cannot wait for just to reveal that into the world, but then also revealing more projects to come, especially with the visuals, the artistic pieces to them too.
Okay, now we're coming to a close. All right,
Now,
so any inspirational advice you want to give to someone who's going to your path, whatever that is, and also please plug yourself. You can reinstate events that you're going to be at again. You can definitely plug the social media and for everybody to contact you and know about you. So these last couple minutes belong to you. Go right ahead.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I think the one message I would tell the individual is if you really go to bed every single night and you have that vision, you're in that dream in your head, like just know it's your purpose at that point. It's your calling. There's something more for you at that point. And if it's in your head, I know it deep down it's in your soul and it's in your heart. So and that took me some time to accept it sooner. Accept it sooner. I could definitely say that. If you accept it sooner, there's so many more beautiful things to happen. Not just the opportunities, but just the beauty of connections, being able to meet new and amazing people, and of course, just developing your mindset and really kind of like releasing and surrendering to what life has to bring to you instead of always feeling like you have to be in control. So that's one thing I would leave for them. But to reinstate, yes, I will be performing at the Hartford Taste as well as Heartbeat Festival, and I will be performing a set at the Jazz Festival as well, locally. I am having my EP release going on April 5th from 3 to 6. Feel free to come in. I know RSVPs are done, but if you guys want to stop in, check out what the vibes are all about, feel free to. It will be on the Eventbrite. But you guys can find me anywhere on social media as well as streaming platforms. NadaButVibes, NadaButVibes. Again, that's NadaButVibes. And if you actually look that up on your browser, NadaButVibes.com, you can check out my whole website where it has all my music, all my videos, everything where you could get plugged in essentially, and where you could contact me, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been NadaButVibes this whole entire broadcast. Myself, Preston, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, Mr. EZ BlueZ. Thank you for everybody. We appreciate you on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Appreciate everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.